In the peaceful, sunlit communities of California, where suburban life seems to offer a veneer of security, a horror unfolded that would challenge the boundaries of human cruelty and resilience. The story of Jaycee Dugard is a haunting testament to the depths of captivity and the extraordinary strength required to endure and escape from such a living nightmare. On June 10, 1991, Jaycee Dugard, an 11-year-old girl with a bright future, was walking to the bus stop near her home in South Lake Tahoe, California. The morning air was crisp, the sky a brilliant blue, a seemingly perfect day. Yet, it was on this very day that Jaycee's life would be shattered by the dark plans of a depraved individual. Philip and Nancy Garrido, a married couple whose outward appearance concealed their dark intentions, had meticulously planned this abduction. Philip Garrido, a convicted sex offender with a history of violent behavior, had spent years developing an insidious plan to capture and control a young girl. His motives were driven by a perverse need for power and control, and Jaycee was to become his victim. As Jaycee walked innocently towards her destination, Philip Garrido and his wife lay in wait. In a swift and terrifying moment, Philip abducted her, using the element of surprise and brute force to overpower her. The abduction was both calculated and ruthless, a chilling prelude to the horror that Jaycee was about to endure. Jaycee was taken to a hidden compound in Antioch, California, an isolated backyard that would become her prison for the next 18 years. This compound was a place of nightmare, designed to imprison and control Jaycee completely. Garrido constructed a hidden area within his backyard, a makeshift shelter covered by tents and tarps, surrounded by tall fences and trees to obscure it from view. The conditions within this compound were suffocating and oppressive. Jaycee's world was reduced to a series of confined spaces, where her every move was monitored by her captors. The psychological manipulation was relentless, as Philip Garrido, with his twisted sense of control, subjected Jaycee to a regime of abuse and domination. He maintained a facade of normalcy while orchestrating an existence of fear and degradation. The compound was a place of constant surveillance, where Jaycee lived under the ever-present threat of violence and coercion. Her captors exerted absolute control over her life, manipulating her into submission and ensuring that any hope of escape was extinguished. The psychological torment was compounded by the isolation, leaving Jaycee in a state of perpetual despair. Despite the overwhelming horror of her situation, Jaycee displayed an extraordinary resilience. She found ways to survive the daily torment, maintaining a semblance of normalcy for herself and her children, who were born as a result of Garrido's abuse. Her strength and determination to protect her children, who were born in captivity, became a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. The outside world remained oblivious to the true nature of Jaycee's ordeal. Philip Garrido continued to deceive authorities and those around him, projecting an image of normalcy while concealing the horror of his crimes. The compound, hidden behind a facade of suburban normalcy, was a place where the darkness of human cruelty thrived out of sight. The turning point came in August 2009, when Philip Garrido, in a bizarre twist of fate, sought to establish a relationship with authorities. He and Nancy began to visit a local church and sought counseling, which eventually led to increased scrutiny from law enforcement. The suspicions raised by these interactions, coupled with Garrido's erratic behavior, finally prompted a deeper investigation. On August 26, 2009, the truth about Jaycee Dugard's captivity was revealed. A visit from law enforcement to Garrido's home led to the discovery of the hidden compound and the horrifying reality of Jaycee's imprisonment. The compound, once a place of torment, was exposed as a prison of unimaginable cruelty. Jaycee was finally freed, her years of captivity coming to a dramatic end. Philip and Nancy Garrido were arrested and charged with numerous crimes, including kidnapping, sexual assault, and false imprisonment. The trial that followed was a public spectacle, a chilling recounting of the horrors that had unfolded behind closed doors. The details of Jaycee's suffering were laid bare, and the world was confronted with the grotesque reality of her ordeal. The case of Jaycee Dugard became a symbol of both the darkest depths of human cruelty and the incredible strength required to survive such suffering. Jaycee's story is a haunting reminder of the hidden horrors that can exist within seemingly ordinary settings, and the resilience needed to escape from such nightmarish conditions. As you reflect on the story of Jaycee Dugard, remember that the true horror often lies not just in the acts of cruelty, but in the silence and secrecy that allow such horrors to persist. Her tale is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places, and the extraordinary courage needed to overcome and escape from such a living nightmare.